guitar players and music nerds, welcome back to my channel. This is a new kind of format I'm trying out. It's basically me talking about stuff music related and giving my opinion. And then maybe we can strike a conversation in the comments and see where it goes from there. And between the topics, I'm playing blues licks because I can't feel naked if I don't have a guitar in front of me doing these videos. So here we go. But first I think I have to retune my Les Paul. Because the G string never stays in tune on a fucking Les Paul. If you don't know why, just Google it. It's a thing. Here we go, topic number one. I want to talk about the NAMM show real quick, and especially about Marshall because they brought out the new Marshall Studio stuff, and I have my own Studio Classic or the Studio Vintage. What are they? I'm sure you followed all the big guitar YouTubers on the NAMM show and watched all this stuff. If not, go to Know Your Gear. He did a segment about them, and I think he already has one and tested it. I watched the video, good stuff. They are mini hats, like lunchbox 20 watt hats that you can scale down to 5 watt, if I'm not wrong. And basically what they are miniature versions of classic Marshall amplifiers. The Studio Classic is the JVH 800, I think, and the Studio Vintage is modeled on the Plexi. But not the old school Plexi, but the 1987X that Marshall has out currently as a 50 watt version. They are hand wired in England, which makes them expensive. They are $1,000 and a lot of people are saying, Marshall, what the fuck? Produce them in China, give them to us cheap. I get that. But Marshall already has the Marshall Origin line, which kinda is that thing you are asking for. So, well, people in Europe want to get paid. And labor costs are a lot higher than they are in Indonesia. And if you hand wire stuff, it takes time and it needs to be done good. Are they gonna sound any better because they are hand wired? I did a video on my Les Paul, my other one, Studio, where I took the PCB board out and hand wired it. A lot of people said the hand wired sounds a lot better than the PCB stuff. So yeah, why not hand wired in China then? They could do that. But I think somebody needs to keep some labor in Europe, or not. I don't know. What do I know about that stuff? Anyways, I have my own one. I'm gonna get one. I'll buy them at Thomann as soon as they stock them, which will be in 2 or 3 weeks. Don't know if I get the Classic or the Vintage yet. Let me know what you think about them. Is it a good idea for Marshall? Is it a bad idea? Are they super overpriced? Are they just right? Leave a comment down there in the comment section. Next topic, picking up on Thomann, I wanted to talk to you about buying stuff online. On a couple of my videos, when I bought expensive guitars from Reverb or from Thomann, guys said they would never do that. They need to play a guitar before they buy it. They need to test it to know if it's the one, and they'll never spend so much money on something they haven't had in their hands before, which I totally understand and I get it. I love to hang out in music stores. I love to pick guitars from the wall and play them for hours and hours and then not buy them and go home, or buy one if I really like it. Then I used to do that when I was younger. We had three guitar stores which within like half an hour radius from where I live. They all closed down. So basically the next one I could go to is 3.5 hours by car. And just to do that, I'd have to take a day off, and it's not something I can do after work, or it's just not convenient. So basically, there's no place where I can do that. I'm kind of forced to buy online, which is what I do all the time. And I had a couple of bad experiences where I bought guitars from Thomann and they weren't up to the standards that I had. And I sent them back, and I got a new one. And it was fine. So I get the point that a couple of you have, that you have to test the guitar before you buy it. But you can do that when you buy online. I mean, it's when you buy shoes online, clothes online. It's just what you do. I know people who order like 3 or 4 guitars or 3 or 4 amps from Thomann, and then they try them out over a week and they keep just the one they like and they send the rest back. So what you think about that? Leave a comment, maybe we can strike up a discussion about that. It's the way I kind of have to do it, but I get the point. Before I started buying online, I was really reluctant to spend that much money on an instrument online and then get it shipped here, and then I don't know. But if you do it on like Thomann, who is the biggest retailer, by the way, I'm not sponsored by them, but who is like the biggest retailer in Germany or Europe, maybe even worldwide, they're super huge. And there's no risk. You can just send the stuff back if it's not up to your taste for like 30 days or something. So, I mean, why not, right? Buying on Reverb, buying used guitars, which I've done more and more lately, that's a little bit more of a risk, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't had a bad experience there. So you could get an instrument that's not up to the description or what it says in the photos, and then you have to send it back, and maybe you can get in a bit of an argument with the buyer because it's not a big company, it's just a person. Not sure about that. Leave a couple of comments, tell me your experiences, what happened to you in Reverb. Yeah, I still do it. I like Reverb. I don't know why. I don't like to do it on eBay. I haven't had a bad experience. That's all I can say about it. Where do you buy your stuff? Let me know. Next topic. And the lick I just played brings me right to the next topic. I somehow, when I go into solos, tend to start on the same note with kind of the same thing. How do you fucking change that? It's a habit. I don't know where I got it from. How do you know what sounds good? What are good notes to start from? No idea. I have to Google it. I have to learn it. That's something I always tend to be like. Which is the root note, and I tend to always start on the root note. Give me some tips for good notes to start a lick on. Curious to see what you have to say, guys. Next topic. And this is the last one for today. Pop punk. Bring pop punk back, or punk music. Not sure which genre I'm really talking about here. I used to love Pennywise, Millencolin, Blink-182. I was totally into all of that bands, and I want stuff like that back. You know, the classic setup. A guitar, two guitars, a bass player, and drum kit. Good energy. Something you can go and watch, drink a beer. I think this falls all kind of into the debate that's been going on for a while now, that rock music is dead or guitar music is dead, which is kind of true. I mean, the top three in America right now are Ariana Grande, and Ariana Grande, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I like a broad spectrum of music, and kids nowadays just produce music differently than they used to back in the day. And there are a couple of YouTubers that I love to watch. Andrew Huang, and he produces music with synthesizers and his computer, and he makes amazing stuff. So it doesn't always have to be a natural instrument. But is it sad that things are changing? Will they change back? Is music like the fashion industry? Because in the fashion industry, everything comes back. It's a big cycle. The 80s come back. Right now the 90s are back in Europe. It's super crazy for me because I grew up in the 90s and now it's back, and you see the kids running around like you did, which is super, super weird. And then the 80s will come back because they always come back. Will the same thing happen in music? Will there be a big turnaround and then all the EDM goes away and the guitar music comes back? Really not sure about that. But then what do I know? And basically, that's it for today. Have a nice Sunday, folks. See you next Sunday with 4 or 5 new topics and 4 or 5 new links. Till then, I'm out.